we are going to be talking about my biggest mistake as a beginner in the saltwater aquarium hobby. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on my channel. We are going to be talking about my biggest mistake as a beginner in the saltwater aquarium hobby. We're going to be talking about the cost that I have put into my setup thus far and how I could have probably done it so much cheaper. Before we get into it, we're going to be going over and looking at all the tanks, giving you an update on both of them. So starting over here on the beta tank, he is doing absolutely wonderful. Still just bare tank, got the one plant in there that I initially put in. I don't have any tank mates for him yet, but eventually I'm gonna run up to PetSmart and see what kind of tetras they got or something that would go well with him. That way it just adds a little more life in the tank. But yeah, no, beta is doing wonderful, just gorgeous as ever. He's fun. You know, that beta fish is a lot of fun because I'll be sitting here at my desk and he will just swim back and forth, watching me the whole time. So he's very like outgoing, which I never expected to get out of a beta fish. So it's just kind of cool to look at something else other than my computer screen when I'm doing computer work. Going over to the saltwater aquarium tank, which is kind of my pride and joy right now. I love this thing. If you watched my last video, you've seen me unbox these two wonderful pair of Ocellaris clownfish, and they are doing phenomenal. It's been about 5 days since I got them and put them in the tank, and they've finally pretty much fully adjusted. They've calmed down a lot. They've become really active. They're swimming through the rocks. They're doing all sorts of cool things, which I kind of expected to get when I got these fish. This one here I think is going to end up being the male in the group, the one in the back there that's kind of swimming around all frantic. That one I do believe is going to turn out to be the female. Just by their size now and by how they act, that's what I'm assuming. We'll see. I don't know, I could be completely wrong. But they are doing wonderful. As you know, once again, if you watched the last video, there's 5 hermit crabs in this tank. And when I put them in here for the first day, they all stood right in this corner. I dropped them in right here. So they were all right in this corner and they've all dispersed since. And last night when I was checking the tank over, there was 4 of them on the rock structure. And as you can see, actually, there's one right there. I don't know if you can see that. He's right there past my finger. The other 3 that were on there, I don't know where they went, but I'm sure they're in here somewhere. So yeah. The tank is doing phenomenal 5 days into having stock in it. So here, a few more days, I'll probably do a water change. We're just gonna keep an eye on the water parameters, do a bunch of tests just to make sure everything's going good. I've topped it off once since. Salinity is on point. We're good. We're good. So far, everybody's happy. They're eating, they're healthy, we're good. There is your tank updates today for this video. But let's get into it. As I said right in the beginning, we are going to go over my biggest mistake so far while entering this hobby, and that is how much money I spent on my setup, and I think I could have done it a heck of a lot cheaper than what I did. Now, with that being said, I want to be very clear. Expensive is kind of a subjective term. So what's expensive to me might be pennies on the dollar to you, and vice versa. What you think is expensive could be easily affordable to me. So it's very subjective depending on how much money you make, how much money you have. It varies from person to person. Now, this whole setup to me was pretty expensive. Doable, but expensive. Let me explain. I'm gonna start off by talking about the most expensive pieces on the setup itself first. So number 1 is going to be my filtration system, which is a Fluval FX4 canister filter. I went to PetSmart when I decided to get the Fluval. I went to PetSmart. It's about 30 miles away, and I picked up the FX4, and that cost me right around $330 with taxes and everything. Now, I did get a little discount on it, not sponsored or anything, but on PetSmart's website, in a store in Omaha, Nebraska, it was listed for $310. At the store where I picked mine up at, it was listed for $380. So I was able to price match that and get the price down, saved myself $50 or $60 in the end, which I thought was a big win. From everything I researched and talked to friends about before entering the hobby and getting everything going, filtration was a major thing. So I decided I wanted to go with what I thought would be the best route of filtration that was going to allow my tank to thrive. Now, others might have opinions on that. Yes, I do kind of wish I went with a sump on this thing, but I didn't. I went with the canister filter. I'm gonna roll with that for now and see how it goes. The next most expensive part on the system is the light, which is very important, very, very important, especially if I want to get corals and get them to thrive. I needed a good UV light. So I myself went with the AI Prime light. I was able to pick this thing up here on Amazon for $265. And that is just the light alone. $265 for a light, but one of the good name brand lights. And once again, I kind of wanted to get what I thought was the best of the best so my tank can thrive when I put corals and stuff in. Now, the light stand that it mounts onto was another $30. So that right there is pushing $300, $295, probably $300 with taxes before it's all said and done. Third most expensive thing was the glass itself. Now, if you watch online or on the internet or wherever you find ads, Petco, PetSmart, them big name brand pet stores, a lot of times they run sales on tanks, aquariums. They used to be like $1 per gallon. I don't even know if they still do that anymore. But the big one I see anymore is at Petco. They do a 50% off all tanks, or however they word it. This thing was 50% off at the time I walked into the Petco store, and I ended up pulling the trigger on it. And I should have kept the receipt. I don't remember the exact price on it. The 35 gallon cube tank, it's 20 by 20 by 20 tall, right around $170 for the tank alone. And mind you, that was 50% off. So I got what I thought was a good deal at the time, and it was pretty much exactly what I was looking for when I walked into the store. So if you're following along with me and you're keeping track of figures, $300 for the light, $330 for the filtration, $170 for this, we're coming up to $800 so far, and that's before I even bought anything inside of the tank. That's just for the main three things that I thought I needed. Now let's get inside the tank itself. In the back there you see the heater, $20, another $20. That little wave maker in the back, power head, roughly $30, $40. Well, we'll call it $40. What I paid for that. Most of this stuff inside the tank I got at a small, it'd be local to the area fish store about 100 miles away from me. I drove up there and picked up a bunch of stuff. So $20 for the heater, $40 for the power head, the wave maker. The rocks were by the weight, and I can't remember what I paid by the weight, but I think it come up to 5 rocks to make this structure, and that structure is not very big. I don't know how big it looks on camera, but it's not very big in real life. Another $75, $80 for the rocks alone. The sand, $20 a bag, maybe for the Carib Sea sand, the typical stuff you could get for salt water. So we'll say 20. We'll say 20. I should have saved the receipts, but I didn't. So we're gonna call that $20 just for the sand. Thermometer, another $15. Just little stuff adding up over time. What's that come up to? $800 plus 15 for the thermometer, 20 for a heater, 40 for the power head, $875. The sand was 20. We're gonna say 75 for the rock. Once again, just guessing, it might have been more, might have been less, I can't remember. $970. It adds up quick. You're going to need a refractometer. That way you can test the salinity of your tank. That way you keep it in the parameters for the fish. That way they don't die, because there's certain parameters these livestock need to thrive in the water. So you need a refractometer. This has the price tag on the box still. $30. So we're gonna pull up the calculator again. Plus 30. Boom. $1,000 right there. $1,000. Now that is $1,000, not even including the tank stand that I bought, not including some of the stuff I put in my filter, a scraper, stuff you need for water changes, a tube, a siphon for water changes. I bought I call it a garbage can to mix water in, a pump to circulate that, another heater to heat the water up when I make salt water. I'm not including all that stuff. And I'm definitely not including the livestock, what the fish and the crabs and all that stuff cost me so far. That's not including more fish I'll buy in the future, the corals, all that. This is just bare bones what you need to get started in the saltwater hobby. Like I said before, I think I could have done it a whole lot cheaper than $1,000. There are several companies out there that have what they call an all-in-one system. So it probably has like a hang on the back filter. It's a smaller tank. It's probably not gonna be 30 gallons. So you're not gonna get quite the size. Maybe there might be a 30-gallon option out there. I don't know, 35, I guess is what this is. So you're gonna get a filter, the tank. A lot of them come with sand, they come with rock to start you off with, and it's probably gonna be half the price. I don't know exactly what they cost, but I know it's gonna be cheaper than $1,000 just for the base price of what I put into my system. And I'm guessing my stuff is probably not the top of the line stuff that you could go with. So in conclusion, what I would do if I was a beginner, again, I'm still a beginner, but if I hadn't bought everything yet and already got my tank going, I probably would spend a little more time researching different options, cheaper options, more affordable. Like I said, I could afford this tank, otherwise I wouldn't have bought it. But more affordable setup just to get my feet wet rather than jumping in head first and buying a whole bunch of individual expensive stuff. I don't know. If you think I'm wrong, comment below. Tell me what you think. Tell me your thoughts. If you're more experienced in this hobby, you've been around a long time, drop your thoughts below. That way other beginners who might see this video and are looking to get into it have better options. They have a better route. And they don't just do what I did and impulsively buy stuff because they want a tank, which, like I said, I don't regret my decisions. I'm happy with what I got. Could I have done better? Yeah, probably. But we're in it now, so we're gonna roll it. Anyway, that's gonna conclude this video. If you enjoyed watching this, seeing the breakdown, the cost, everything I've put into it, please do not forget to subscribe. Yeah, come hang out. There's going to be a lot more content to come as we build this thing out. Start buying a few more fish, corals, get it decked out, get it growing. There's probably going to be some failures along the way, and there's probably going to be a lot of success, we hope. So yeah, anyway, that'll do it for this video. See you next time. Peace.